what's good, YouTube? Welcome to the channel, your girl Natasha Nisha. So on this one, I'll be answering what is the fear of the Lord. So basically, this is like almost a bit of a small little series that I have. The first one is to do with do you need God? So basically, in that video, I was speaking of God as our source, and we do need Him. And then I was just saying that I had a revelation in that regard to add love to the need and not always to come just from a place of need. And I got a further deeper revelation in this one, and that is to fear the Lord. So also to come from with fear of the Lord, and this is adding fear, and this fear is a holy reverence for God. It's like a holy respect for who He is, you know. And this is because of His majesty, His might, His power. But more than this, like all these ingredients, it's funny how all these ingredients are necessary in a healthy relationship, in a healthy marriage. Namely, we need the love, especially as females, as women, we need love, and then men need respect. And this respect is also the fear, the fear. So, as I said, we need to come to God also with fear, and that is that holy reverence, that holy respect, because of His majesty. I was saying because of His power, because of who He is. And the scripture says it's Him alone that we should fear, because it's Him who can send both body and soul to hell. So there's a reason to fear Him, unlike man who can just kill the body but not the soul. And we find that in Matthew 10 and 28. So fear is important in relation to God, and the nice thing about this fear of the Lord that we call to have is that this fear comes with blessings. It comes with so many blessings. Proverbs 19 and 23 tells us the fear of the Lord leads to life. Whoever has it rests satisfied, and he will not be visited by harm. So there's so much good that comes with being obedient to this. Proverbs 1 and 7 tells us the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. That's in Proverbs 15 and 35 there again. So the fear of the Lord is instruction in wisdom. So there's so much that we get from, giving the Lord this due fear, this due respect to Him. And another scripture says that if you understand the fear of the Lord, you will find the knowledge of God. So this is not just any humanly knowledge. There's this thing about knowledge. You may have knowledge and what have you, but there's this thing called wisdom. And wisdom comes from above, and that is wisdom as to how to use this knowledge that you have. And that is some of the blessings that come with it. When you understand of the fear of the Lord, you will find the knowledge of God. This is the wisdom now that it speaks of here. His wisdom is a shield to the upright, the scripture tells us. So we're able to now walk in integrity and understanding and knowledge, and that this is pleasant to our soul. It guards us and it delivers us from any evil traps, evil plans that our enemies may have. And so that's some of the benefits again there of fearing the Lord. And the nice thing is that this fear leads to precaution naturally. So we are cautious. Let me read Proverbs 2, 7 and 8, where it says, be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil, and it will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. So there again, it tells of blessings that come with fearing the Lord. It's a blessing we receive as a result. But more than that, it helps us to keep us from evil. And there's some things that we can't do on our own. Like even this ability to keep us from evil, we can't do it on our own. So this fear leads us to precaution naturally, and that's how we're able to um, keep from evil. But also the nice thing here, it says the fear of the Lord is hatred of evil. So automatically, if you step into that place of fearing the Lord, automatically you step also into the place of loving good. You know, it's like just comes upon you is how I see it. And yeah, so that's so beautiful to know. And the scripture also says the fear of the Lord prolongs life, but the years of the wicked will be short. So fearing God can prolong your life. So this is a life now that you will have, and it's a life of safety, a life of joy, a life of provision, a life of favor, a life of wisdom walked out in wisdom and integrity, versus a life of disgrace, a life of treachery, a life of perversion, a life of destruction, a life of dread, a life of hopelessness, and a life of folly. So you choose. And in closing, I just want to add that the scripture also tells us that um, the friendship of the Lord is for those who fear Him. And we find this in Psalms 25 and 14. So basically, if you fear the Lord, you become His friend and you're no longer His enemy but a friend. And we know that it's the wicked person who will not fear the Lord, you know. Psalm 36 and 1 tells us the transgression speaks to wicked deep in his heart. There is no fear of God before his eyes. So it's these wicked people who go about doing evil deeds, thinking that they will never be found out and no one sees them, you know, just having no fear of the Lord, basically. That same Psalm 36 and 2 tells us, for he flatters himself in his own eyes, this is the wicked man, that his iniquity cannot be found out and hated. Iniquity is sin. So he flatters himself thinking that his sin, his evil deeds, you know, can't be found out and hated. We know the scripture tells us the Lord hates the evil deeds of the wicked, you know. So yeah, and finally, in closing, I just want to add Ezekiel 33, 8 and 9 there, where it tells us we are actually called to warn a wicked person, you know, like that they should change, or they should change, or they will surely die. And if not, then we will be accountable for their blood if we don't warn them. So we to speak out and dissuade them from their ways. Dissuade, not persuade, dissuade that they get off those evil ways. And if we do warn them and they turn from their ways, then that is good. But if we warn them and they do not turn from their ways, they will die as a result. And they will die for their sins, and we will be saved, and we will not have their blood on our hands. So I hope that you were clear on some of the things that I said. Otherwise, I think I'm going to put all these scriptures in the description box if anyone wants later to have a read for himself. I was blessed doing this research, just reading the Psalms and Proverbs. So basically, this is the fear of the Lord, and these are the benefits of the fear of the Lord. So as I said, we started to need God. Yes, that's good, but then add love to your need. Let it be motivated by love. And even to that now, add the fear of the Lord to the whole thing, and you'll have like such a blessed, prosperous, healthy relationship with God. So that's all for this in your comment session. I'll see you in the next one, please.